Hi everyone, welcome to the Energy Storage Market Series. My name is Erez Dolev and I'm a Managing Director here at RENVU. Today we are going to be hearing from Gary Thompson, Regional Sales Manager at Fortress Power, about the Avalon Fortress Power ESS and why high voltage is a better option than 48 volt. We'll also explore their commercial products, including the eSpire 280 and the eSpire Mini, for the Fortress Power CNI ecosystem and various case studies. Before we dive in and while we are waiting for more people to join, I'd like to give a little background on RENVU and as well as some of the products and services we offer. RENVU is a US-based solar equipment distributor. We've been in the industry for over a decade, and we currently have fulfillment facilities in California, New Jersey, and Texas. Our sales staff have background within engineering or solar installation to provide you with the best sales service. A few products quickly to spotlight here, and we'll share links in the chat. Um, let's see, we're receiving our Lumin Smart Panel this week. This is a great option to manage loads without the need to replace the main panel or to add a dedicated critical load panel with the ability to manage and monitor each circuit. Also, we are receiving the new generation of Solis hybrid inverter this week, and we will have the 7.6, 10 kilowatt, and 11.4 kilowatt inverters. SolarArc is a great inverter to install with the Fortress low voltage eVolt Max and the eFlex battery banks. We carry all N-phase microinverters and have unbeatable pricing on those. If you're using these, I encourage you to talk with our team about pricing. We also have several Encharge 10T ESS systems remaining on the shelf at $5,983 for each system. This is significantly lower price than it used to be. For solar panels, we have many options, but by far our best value products at the moment are Canadian Solar 395 all black, and ZenShine 550 bifacial, and ZenShine 410 black on black modules. Both are Bloomberg New Energy Finance Tier 1 companies. We also have some Q-Cells ESS called Q Home Plus, consisting inverter, auto transformers, and 18.9 kilowatt hour battery bank, which we're offering at 50% off at 6,998 per system. Email us at info@renvu.com if you have any questions or requests about those products. A couple of amazing offerings from Fortress that we will share in the follow-up email. When you buy an NV True 12 kilowatt all-in-one hybrid inverter, you will get one for free. This is available only for installers and limited to one per customer. Don't miss this opportunity. This is the best deal for hybrid inverters in the market right now. Also, when you're buying a Durarock with 3 eFlex batteries, you will get additional eFlex battery for free. This offer is not limited by quantity. Here's our commercial price list for large volume options and our upcoming offering of solar modules. We're sharing it in the chat now. It's a good one to bookmark if you're an installer, re-up your inventory, or have a large commercial project. We update it regularly so you can stay up to date with our latest deals for bulk orders and market pricing. This is another tab on the same file. It lists our inverters and ESS specials. I'll take a minute to also mention the Bleaky residential carport. This is a great way to expand existing solar systems or an alternative solution where you cannot install solar on a roof. Shown here is the 2-car carport. There is also the option to tandem a solution with several columns or shared columns, sorry. So you can connect multiple of those when you need a carport for more than 2 cars. It's designed to be assembled by a crew of 2. It doesn't require any specialized tools or heavy machinery to install. This is a solar structure, so it's eligible for the 30% ITC with an extra 10% for US made products. The carport is supplied with iron reach system and under panel clamps, so it accepts any solar module and inverter you want. When combined with a Blicker EPDM T-gasket, the surface becomes watertight. It's designed and fabricated in the US and comes with 25-year warranty. The structure is coming with a structural engineer P stamp. You can install up to 24 modules with 4 columns of 6 modules. With a 410-watt modules, you will generate about 10 kilowatt power, and then same range of 10 kilowatt with a 550-watt bifacial modules, with the additional benefit of bifacial because there is a reflection from beneath. With basic load capacities of 35 pounds per square foot snow load, which can be upgraded, and 175 miles per hour wind load and seismic design category E. The two-car carport is 18 feet wide and 18 feet deep with 9.5 feet clearance. It comes with 5-degree tilt. Blicker just released their 5G and its 5th generation model, which has even less parts and installation time reduced significantly. All components are delivered on 2 pallets. The structure is galvanized and powder coated. We have a palette of, I think, 6 colors from black, gray, tan, and white. Um, Great options and looks great. You can find a 3D model of the tandem carport and the standalone carport on the Blicker website. One last item to go over before we get started is our solar design and quote tool. You'll find it at the top of our homepage on renvu.com. You can generate as many quotes as you need in a couple minutes without the need to wait for a sales engineer, and it's available 24 hours. They first select the system type you want, then the module you choose, then configure the racking system from a wide range of options: tilted, flat roof, ground mount, and carports. I'm selecting metal tilted roof here, 2 arrays. First array with 7 modules in landscape, and then 10 modules in portrait. Second array will be 10 modules in portrait. Selected automatically here because of the module is black rails and black clamps. I'm changing the span to 6 feet, and the system will create a sketch of the array. Then you choose the inverter and also energy storage options if you like. I'll select string inverter and Fortress Power. On the left side, you will see the bill of materials building up, and you'll see also if you're logged in, you will see also pricing changing as you change your options. This is a great way to compare the cost of different options in real time. On the last selection page, you can add a couple spare modules if you need: BOS, disconnect, and EV chargers. You can add the Lumen Smart Panel, which saves the need to replacing the main panel, etc. And then at the end, you save the quote to your account and get a quote to your email. You can see all the bill of material. You can also email our sales engineers with the quote number, and we'll check the quote. And if we have any remarks, we'll get back to you. If you have any questions about these products or about Fortress Power while Gary is presenting, please feel free to ask in the Q&A section, and we'll get to the questions at the end of the webinar during the Q&A session. If I will see a Q&A or a question that is relevant to the specific slide, I'll jump on and ask the question for you while Gary is presenting. You can also email our sales engineer at info@renvu.com for more information and pricing. This webinar is being recorded, and we will send you a link in a follow-up email. We also have recordings of previous webinars on the RENVU YouTube channel if you want. Without further ado, I will hand it over to Gary.
Thank you, Rez. My name is Gary Thompson, Regional Sales Manager with Fortress Power. Allow me to share my screen here. We'll get underway. Yeah, so we are Fortress Power. We're a US-based manufacturer for LFP or lithium ferrophosphate batteries, headquartered in Langhorne, Pennsylvania, plus 3 additional offices in Asia, Los Angeles, and Puerto Rico. We've been in business for about 6.5 years now, and since our inception, we've had close to 30,000 installations throughout North America and internationally. So I think that's a really good testament to the quality and the internal knowledge that we have at Fortress Power to be able to produce high quality batteries and never have any warranty recalls and a really low attrition rate for batteries that need to be replaced in the field. And with that experience and that expertise, our company has been a key lithium battery supplier for numerous government and utility entities. One of the most notable is that we've provided the battery backup for SEPTA, which is the Southeastern Pennsylvania Transit Authority. We provided battery backup for all of their traffic signals throughout their railways. So for anyone who's been out to the tri-states and ridden on the subways there, realize that's a pretty substantial transportation system. And we're very proud to have been a part in the energy storage for them and backup. A little bit more about the company. Fortress Power currently has a 3 gigawatt-hour manufacturing capacity. We have 3 warehouses across the United States in Pennsylvania, Florida, and California. And then we also are looking to add some US-based manufacturing at the end of this year. So that's something, a new development that we're really excited about. And we'll have more information as we get closer to the end of 2023. Then for financing partners, if you're end users or if you are an end user and you're going to be looking to obtain financing using a Fortress Power ESS system, we have relationships with most of the major lenders in the industry, such as Sungage Financial, Sunlight Financial, Mosaic, etc. So it shouldn't be too difficult to obtain the financing needed if you're going to be using Fortress Power. And so today's presentation is going to be 2-part. One part will cover our upcoming high voltage ESS product line. The second part will be covering Fortress Power's eSpire and eSpire Mini C&I commercial ecosystem. So let's jump into the high voltage line first. We have a nice little video that our team put together that I'd like to share. It's a nice introduction to the Avalon, which is the Fortress Power high voltage system.
Just FYI, we don't hear the sound. You need to share sound under the microphone area.
Yeah, so that's the introduction for our new high voltage ESS system called the Avalon, and we have a diagram here of the different components. The video went over that pretty quickly, but the ESS consists of a high voltage inverter, our Avalon battery system, as well as our smart energy panel. So it's a three component system. And what's really nice about high voltage when you compare it to 48 volt is it's a bit more efficient than using a 48 volt battery. You'll also be able to use 8 gauge battery cabling instead of 4 gauge, which is easier to install and a bit more cost efficient. But probably the most significant benefit to using a high voltage system versus 48 volt is going to be price. High volt 48 volt hybrid inverters can be pretty costly because of all the components that come inside of that. With the high voltage system, most of the expensive components that are inside a hybrid 48 volt inverter are going to be in our smart energy panel instead. So as the system gets larger in size and you need multiple inverters, high HV inverters or high voltage inverters are lower in cost than their 48 volt counterpart. And thus, the larger the system, the more cost efficient the high voltage ESS will be in terms of cost per kilowatt hour.
Why are the allow me to ask, why are the high voltage inverters are much cheaper? What is the difference?
In the high voltage unit, it doesn't have the automatic transfer switch. It also doesn't have the rapid shutdown transmitter. All of those are built into the smart energy panel instead. And so the cost for without having to build in the ATS and the rapid shutdown transmitter, the high voltage inverter is going to have a lower cost, a lower manufacturing cost. So jumping into the first component of our Avalon ESS, this is the high voltage battery. Each one of the bricks that you see here that comprise the stack is 4.9 kilowatt hours. So each stack of batteries can range from 14.7 up to 29.4 kilowatt hours per stack. Then it's scalable in total up to 58.8 kilowatt hours. So you can have 2 stacks total. What's really great about the high voltage system is that it's an indoor or outdoor solution. In the video, it alluded to that there's a built-in heating system into the battery unit, which will make it able to install outdoors and not have to worry about low temperatures quite as much as you would a 48 volt battery. Warranty on this is similar to the 48 volt Fortress units. Has a 8,000 warranty cycle life or 10 years, well, whichever comes first. The second unit for our Avalon system is the inverter. This is available in 7.6 or 11.4 kilowatts. Specs here are for the 11.4 kilowatt unit. But these units come with 4 MP multiple point power trackers. Can be AC or DC coupled. And it also has the 10, you can have up to 10 units in parallel. So you can have a pretty large system with using the Avalon inverter.
I have a follow-up question about the batteries. What is the low temperature rating for the battery? Do you know?
Low temperature rating for the battery is I don't have it on the spec sheet. I believe it's 32 degrees Fahrenheit. It just with the active heater built in, though, it should be able to go below that. But I can get you an answer for that.
Okay.
And then the last component of our Avalon system is the smart energy panel. This acts as a critical load panel, so it'll eliminate the need to install a separate emergency panel. What's nice about it is if there's a power outage, the end user will be able to shed loads immediately using their using the Avalon application on their smartphone. It's built with integrated load control. You can have up to 12 circuits, 6 loads. And I really think this is probably the most important part of the system. We see with smart energy panels becoming more prevalent, manufacturers like Span and Enphase has a nice smart energy panel, Lumen as well. There's going to be more of a demand for that from the end users. So we've designed our new system to have that integrated into our ESS platform as well. And so the video mentioned at the end, the introduction video for the Avalon system, is that you can turn your battery system into a revenue generating power plant. And the way we've done that is we have a program called Energy Broker. This is applicable in California for NEM 3.0 installers, but this will also work this is also going to work in other states as well. What Energy Broker is basically a way for the end user to sell their excess battery storage at night, not back to the utility, but back to their state's respective wholesale market. So it really enables the end user to earn money year round while reducing their monthly energy bill. It's going to reduce their payoff rate for their solar PV system and battery system. And it's really going to help the electric grid run more efficiently by contributing power when energy is a really high usage rate throughout the state. So yeah, Energy Broker really makes it easy for the end user to earn extra money every month. The steps are pretty basic. Install a approved Fortress battery system and an inverter. Have the customer or end user authorize it with Fortress Power to monitor the energy use and dispatch the energy from the battery. And then on a monthly basis, Fortress Power will send the customer a check for their monthly revenue and a detailed description of the energy that their system produced, how much was sent to the wholesale market, and how much they were reimbursed from the wholesale market. So currently it is only approved in California, but we are working to get this launched nationwide within the next couple months here. So pretty shortly it'll be, Energy Broker will be available on a national basis.
So just to understand, Fortress or Energy Broker is buying the excess power from the homeowner and sells it to PG&E or Southern California Edison. That's how it
They're
works.
selling it to the whatever state they're in, that state's respective wholesale energy market. So it may be PG&E, it could be SDG&E. It really depends. Does that make sense, Erez?
Yeah, that's the first time I hear about it, so sounds good.
Yeah, if anyone wants some more detailed information, glad to cover this in further detail. But we really try to have one ecosystem at Fortress Power on the residential side, as well as the commercial side too. But on the residential side, not only do we have the hardware, our 48-volt line, and the upcoming Avalon ESS high voltage, and we have the Energy Broker platform now as well. But in addition to that, we also have our residential ecosystem, which allows the end users or the installer to design and size their system online using Fortress Power calculators. That website is fortresspower.io. Then for the end user, we try to simplify things. We have one app for all applications. So for the inverter, battery, as well as energy broker, that's all rolled into one application. If you're going to be using our high voltage system, that comes with the smart energy panel. If you're a 48-volt user, all of this can be accessible by purchasing our Guardian add-on accessory that is Wi-Fi enabled. That'll communicate with the battery and the inverter. And if you're enrolled in energy broker, it will have the statistics from that available as well. So that's what we have on the residential side. You can see there's a couple questions here. Let me pull these up and try to answer the residential ones now, and then we'll get to the commercial stuff when I finish with that side. When will the Avalon installation manual be available? That is currently available. I can send that over to RENVU after the presentation, and they'll be able to distribute it to those interested in taking a look at that. Will only be available for APS rapid shutdown. If the installer is really against using APS, you will be able to install a Tigo or a different type of rapid shutdown transmitter and use that system instead. So that's an option. But by default, it will come with the APS. Okay, next question. Fortress 48-volt batteries with Schneider XW, for example, have a very large surge start rating. How does the HV system compare, such as for starting well pumps? Well, for the voltage for the HV system, starting range is the lowest voltage range is going to be at 119 volts to 157 volts. As far as starting well pumps, I probably need to confer with our technical team to get some more information about that, but certainly glad to look that up. Let me write that down. HV systems and pumps. Next question, is Energy Broker a time of use optimization service? If so, can discharge thresholds be set for reserve energy? It can be used as a time of use optimization service. It really depends on the end user and when they're going to be consuming energy, and when their battery system is going to be charging, and when they're going to have excess energy to export to the grid. Yeah, it's tough to say just because every family dwelling that has that might be eligible for energy brokers is going to have different types of energy consumption demands, thus affecting their when and how much they can export back. What is the voltage of the high voltage? So the voltage, it really ranges depending on how many battery units you have per stack. And so on the low range, it starts at 119 volts. And then on the high range, it'll go up all the way up to 315 volts if you have 6 of the 4.9 kilowatt hour battery packs, or 29.4 kilowatt hours.
The image that you showed before, is there a BMS on one of those modules, or?
Yes, the top brick for the unit is the BMS.
Okay.
The intro video audio was not enabled during the call. Any chance we can get that? Oh man, my apologies. I didn't realize everyone sat through that 2-minute presentation with no sound. The music's a little cheesy anyway, so it might have been better that there was no sound. But in any case, I'll get that to RENVU as well. Can multiple smart panels be installed to increase pass-through loads? I don't believe so. I have not seen on our price list an option for multiple smart panels, so I don't think that's possible. It'll be limited to 200 amps pass-through.
Is it possible to buy that smart panel for other systems, or You're selling it only for the Avalon.
Only for the Avalon currently.
Okay. Mhm.
All right, so I think got to most of the questions on the Avalon system here. So let's jump into the eSpire Mini and eSpire Fortress Power's C&I solutions. So with Fortress Power, we really tried to have a nice internal ecosystem that's going to make things easier for the installer when you're taking a look at commercial ESS and trying to win a bid with the end user on a commercial system. So with Fortress Power, you don't only get the hardware when you work with us, but you'll also have access to our system design and financial modeling tools. You'll have on-site commission support. Once the system is installed, we have our own Keystone EMS software. So you'll be able to manage everything within the Fortress Power ecosystem, from the beginning design phases to the commissioning stage, later on when the system is installed. You'll have our Keystone EMS as well to manage the system and also take care of fleet management if you have multiple ESS systems out in the field. Yeah, so by working with Fortress Power, don't want to repeat myself too much, but instead of having to use multiple manufacturers for different roles, for example, using Energy Toolbase for your design, using Agito for your microgrid controller, and using BYD for your hardware, Fortress Power, we have all of that in-house. And so it just simplifies the process greatly by working with one manufacturer that has all of this all of the hardware and software tools in-house with a team that's been well-versed and has been using this for quite a while. Full disclosure, our company purchased a commercial solar installation company called CleanSpark about a year and a half ago. And so with that, we inherited their team and also all of their internal software. And so commercial is still somewhat of a new space for Fortress Power. But with that, a lot of the technical side and the software, those members and those products have been in place for 5 or 6 years now. So it may be somewhat new for Fortress Power, but we have a really experienced team on the commercial side that's been doing this for years now. And we feel like with that, we have a very nice streamlined offering on our C&I solutions. So the first product that we will cover today is the eSpire Mini. This is our new C&I solution. This is a light commercial or even possibly a large residential 3-phase ESS system. Now, this will be launching in 5 to 6 weeks. Once it's available, we do expect to have these stocked stateside, so it won't need to be a custom-made unit. But jumping into the specs on the eSpire, this ranges from 80 kilowatt hours up to 266 kilowatt hours on the battery side. And then on the inverter side, you have inverter choice of 30, 60, or 90 kilowatts. If you're going to be DC coupling the unit into the PV, that inverter can act as the inverter that comes with the eSpire Mini can act as a PV inverter as well. That can range anywhere from, that can intake PV anywhere from 45 kilowatts up to 135 kilowatts. The eSpire Mini is stackable up to 3 units. So if you do have a larger project than 266 kilowatt hours, certainly you could use the eSpire Mini for projects upwards of 700 kilowatt hours with the 3-unit stackability. Now, even though this is it's a large unit, it's 88,000 pounds, it's really designed to be a plug-and-play product. It comes pre-wired, everything's installed, the battery packs, the inverters, the circuit breakers, controllers, that's all pre-assembled and installed. So when it comes on site, it's ready to go as long as there's a concrete foundation already in place for the unit. All the wires are designed to come up the bottom of it on the back side, making for a as simple of a plug and play as you can have possible for this large of a system. It has fire suppression control built into it as well. There is a fire hose outlet on the side of the unit in case there is some type of an emergency. And it also has active climate control built into the unit as well. So this is just kind of a diagram of how the eSpire Mini would be installed in a system. You've got the grid, then that will connect to the meter, which connects to the main panel. If you have a sub panel, that'll go to that first. Then you have the eSpire Mini, which will connect to the PV system. If you're going to be AC coupling the eSpire Mini, then there would be an additional PV inverter. If it's going to be DC coupled, then you wouldn't need that PV inverter. It would just connect straight to the PV system. And so the eSpire Mini is our new product. Our more established brother product to the eSpire Mini is the eSpire. This is our full-scale CNI ESS solution. The eSpire, this ranges on the battery side from 280 kilowatt hours up to 4 megawatt hours. Then on the inverter side, it's 125 kilowatts, and you can have up to 5 units for 625 kilowatts inverter. This unit, this one is custom built for project specifications, so allow a 4 to 5 month lead time for the eSpire unit if you're going to be using this for a project. Something to keep in mind. I think compared to a lot of commercial manufacturers, 4 to 5 months is a pretty short lead time, so that should meet the demands of most commercial applications since they move a lot slower than the residential side does. But in the beginning of the commercial presentation, I mentioned Fortress Power ecosystem. That's something we really harp on the residential and the commercial side. So by working with us, we'll be able to provide really nice dollars and cents case studies and printouts for you as the installer to go to the end user and present hard numbers and data. So why installing an eSpire Mini or an ESS would make sense. As mentioned, we do have a lot of not only design tools, but financial modeling tools as well. So be able to provide nice slides like this to the end user so they can see in dollars and cents, very plain and clear, what the project's going to cost, what the payoff's going to be, how much they're going to be saving. And with that, when you put this kind of information in front of a CFO or decision maker, this kind of product will sell itself as long as the dollars and cents pencil out. They don't always do, but many cases they do pencil out, and when it does, it's really a slam dunk. Yeah, these are just some examples of the case studies for a specific application that we've done recently. I just wanted to show what the different types of slides looks like that you'll be able to provide the end user and present to them when you're trying to close the bid for Fortress Power, eSpire, or eSpire Mini project. So yeah, that's pretty much the conclusion for today for what we have on the residential and the CNI side. Happy to take any other questions that we have.
Let's see. So if anybody have questions about these products, you can throw them in the Q&A section. If not, you can also email us at info@renvu.com, and we will include the answers in the follow-up email. see if we have any questions here. Okay. Brian is asking if we can share the spec sheet for the eSpire Mini.
Yes,
If you want,
absolutely.
maybe Peyton, if you can add it to the chat if you have access to it,
Okay.
and we will send it also to the on the follow-up email. Okay. If there are no more questions, thanks, Gary, for sharing all the information. As I mentioned, the webinar is being recorded, and we will send you a link in a follow-up email. We're also saving it as um, a podcast, so you can listen to it. There are several more questions, so while we're closing, we'll take a look at it. Here, I'll let you read through the Q&A.
Did we design our own inverter? For the high voltage, is this for the high voltage or the commercial side? I'll assume it's the commercial side. We're working with a company called Cell for the inverter in the eSpire Mini. For the inverter in the eSpire, we're working with a company called Delta Inverters. It's a well-known three-phase inverter manufacturer. Are we represented also overseas? Not so much. We recently entered a exclusive agreement with a distributor, online distributor for the mainly for Israel, but we don't really have other European representation. So certainly uh, open to that. I noticed the optional present of a grid tie inverter with its PV array connected. Is this something that can be implemented, or the unit can connect PV array directly?
I think it's question is probably if it's AC coupled or DC coupled.
Yeah, you could, with the eSpire Mini, you can connect to the PV array directly if it's going to be DC coupled.
Yeah, also with the residential, right? Both are DC coupled.
Yes.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you, Gary, and thanks everybody for joining us today. As I mentioned, we will follow up with a follow-up email, which will include the recording and everything that we spoke here, and any question that wasn't answered. If you want Gary to answer this, will the system cold start without grid present?
I'm assuming that's the eSpire Mini or eSpire. Yes, it will. It's this can be an off-grid product, so it does not need the grid.
Sounds good. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, everybody. Thanks, Gary.
Thank you.